Yes, we're on the um, we're trying to explain what happened. Last week we got was one of the biggest events. We got the FOMC meeting. Managed to do a cut of interest rates that was widely expected, according to to various prediction markets. So we are in a way the aftermaths. We're experiencing the aftermaths of the cut. Um, we can say that we had some reacted negatively by the Bitcoin, and the traditional markets market reacted somewhat negatively. Started the week, ended the week somewhat badly due to certain factors that really don't have much to do with the interest cut, right? I think in the sense had to do with some company that I missed the name right now. That I think was Oracle, right? And then that had some earnings misses, right? So we saw, the end. Um, we were The stock market was nearing was I think 1% away from all-time highs, to 1-2% away coming into the FOMC. Then Friday we saw a more or less major sell-off, and that returned us to the previous range that we've been experiencing. That's basically the Nasdaq is from the 24,000 to the 25,200, right? So basically, the market has been. You have to you have to be above this green line, to signal a continuation of the bullish narrative, right? So in this sense, we've been trying. We've been trying to. Hold on a second. So in this sense, we'll be trying to be keep above the price, and so in crypto, it has reacted similarly, if not the same, to the recent sell-off on traditional finance, right? So what we're looking here is a 4-hour chart, that gives a better look at the current Bitcoin structure. I would say, I argue, even better than the 1 day, right? Just you can get even deeper. You can go even deeper at the movements of the 4 hour, right? So I think it's essential that we don't lose certain levels. We don't lose this level, right? It's essential that we don't lose the 84 level, right? Because we are living a post October 10th environment. Let's remember what October 10th happened was a liquidity crisis that happened simultaneously that led the price to dwindle, to sink dramatically in a matter of minutes. Right? So it just wiped out a lot of even like market makers, right? Like they just threw it out of business. So we are in a way living a situation, a post 10 market. So we need to understand, come to terms with this, right? So now, what we're living since the FOMC happened, what triggered? You ask me, what triggered this bottom here? What led to its formation? Well, if you go explore that very day, what led to that candle, to the very 1 minute candle, to pop, was the very announcement that one of the Fed members, was signaling that he was effectively positively thinking on cutting interest rates on December. This was back in November 21st. Let's remember that by then, the common consensus was that there wasn't going to be no cut until this person on that particular day said on a particular meeting that there was going to be a cut. So from then on, even the stock market reacted positively. It signaled a bottom in a way. So you can now say after touching 24, right, at the bottom of the 1010, there's no coincidence. So you could say, and this proves that crypto and traditional finance are very sensitive right now on the Fed, what the Fed is saying. And just in a way shows that they're over reliant on the Fed at this point. So that signaled the bottom on both traditional finance and crypto, right? So we gotta make sure that we don't reach that bottom on both crypto and traditional finance, right? So right now we are in a post 1010 environment and also a post FOMC signaling environment, right? We're not anymore in you could say we're not anymore on down on a selling that I meant selling environment like this here, right? Is not continuously selling. In a way, it recuperated, found a range, found a bottom. We just gotta make sure. So this is a new range now. I just reset it. So we gotta make sure that we step away from this, right? We step away from this new paradigm successfully. That's primordial. So in this sense, there's a couple of things happened, right? There were many attempts to break off here in crypto. There was this line I drew it back in 20 on the past month, and just seemed to be useful on later resistance levels. We can see here in December also, topped here resistance of 93, 93.5, and 94. So it's essential. So it's signaling that 24 being the resistance you want to break, and there's a couple other resistance after 24. But that's the resistance we are looking to break. There were many attempts, but were soon enough rejected, right? We see here a lot of wicks, means that people were interested in selling. So this is how it looks. Doesn't look as promising, doesn't look as pretty as it should, but it could be a lot worse. It could look a lot worse. What's very important is that we don't lose 84. It's very important, because if we lose 84, it's probably gonna get ugly fast. Now, I think the question right now on whole of crypto is, when is it gonna recover? I think it's a $1 million question. When is it gonna recover? When the Nasdaq and traditional markets have already recovered and near record highs? Why is it happening to crypto? Why is Bitcoin going down? Why are alts selling? That's a $1 million question that everyone would like to know. When is it going to recover? Many have their own theories. Many have their own strategies. But what is certain is that there remains in 2026 next year, there remains a positive outlook, on the market. Many people expect that conditions will ease, the financial conditions will ease. They are easing already. But many expect there's a major consensus that that financial conditions will ease in, and thus will bring risk assets higher, right? That's a major consensus. That's what people think. Now, a lot of things can happen from here and then on, right? But that's what majority what people think. People agree on. So, in this sense, we can somehow believe that for that reason we can believe that it will recover using that narrative, using that logic, right? So now what this week will show, well, what else can we say about this week, about December being the last month of the year, and usually the beginnings of New Year's have been shown previously. We can look back on the charts on the 2023, for example. The very start of the year is usually when things turn, when stock markets turn. We can take 2023, for example. We can look back for we can see that it's on the beginning of 2023. It's when the Fed signaled that there was going to be that they were going to finally cut interests. That's when they firstly announced. So this got into effect on 2023, right? In the very beginning here, we can see that is being continually 22 selling after quantitative tightening was enforced. And then in 2023, they announced by the end of 2022 that things were going to go differently from 2023 onwards. And we can see here that as soon as 2023 started, look at what happened, a sudden reversal, a sudden change of heart, right? So we can see here that it coincided with the onset of the new year, of the next year. The reversal coincided, the trend reversal from selling to buying coincided with the change of the new year, right? So this is one of the reasons I hold that, and many hold too, that we will see that there's a likelihood that we will see a change of trend, a change of sentiment. It also can be seen here on the stock market. Also did a trend reversal. You can see here, right? Crazy. Insane. All right, so many people have readjusted their expectations of Bitcoin reaching all-time highs. One of them being, Tom Lee. Is a famous analyst that's pretty good, has a pretty good reputation on Wall Street and traditional finance. Has just recently said that he changed his expectations of Bitcoin reaching all-time highs from December, from Q4 2024 to end of January. He changed his expectations, right? So he delayed, we postponed. There's many people that says even Q2. Why Q2? Because in May, this is another theory, this is another expectation. The current Fed, Jerome Powell, which is notoriously, infamously known as more or less a hawkish Fed chairman. His tenure is going to be up over by May. And Mr. President, Mr. Trump President, he people say, people argue, expect the prediction markets expect that he is going to nominate um, a chairman that conforms to his ambitions, to his purposes. That's what people think, right? And one of them is Kevin, and there's Hassett, and others, right? That will be more lenient, that will be more dovish on the markets overall. So we're gonna see. So expectations remain the same. Expectations, people still think that we are still in a bull market. I personally don't think that we are in a bear market. Bear markets are different. This is not really we're not really in a bear market, that's for sure. But many people expect that we reach all-time highs soon enough. But we are more or less right now in a slump in a way, and it's tough. It's very tough right now. I'm not saying it's easy. Things could go lower from here. Lower from here, of course, they can go lower from here. I've said before, if we lose 70K, it's probably done for quite some time. But macro conditions don't really reflect that. Are not really showing that. I think we're still living the repercussions. We're still in the aftermath of the October 10th event, and we need to learn how to deal with that and live with that. There's many people that have been liquidated. There's been absurd damage to a lot of people, and we need to know. We just need to survive. We need to be hopeful. We need to reduce risk, and especially, let's see how this December ends. I remain optimistic. I'm still bullish. I don't believe that huge things will change in December. Historically, December has not been a pretty volatile month. Most traders are just on vacations. A pretty active month. But it's important that we defend the 25K on Nasdaq. Important that we defend the 80,000 on Bitcoin, and let's see what the year's end brings. I think that when Bitcoin broke 100K, it was last year around New Year's. So I think next year, January, end of December, is going to be a pivotal moment. I think that's what I've been saying, and let's see what happens. Let's not lose hope. Let's not lose. Let's not fall into desperation, and just gotta keep believing, man. Gotta keep clicking. All right, so keep trading wisely, keep trading safely. See you later.